morning. Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads or youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads or Spotify or wherever else you may be digesting this content. My name is Graham D and I'm joined by, well, no one, because Bib's not here. God damn it. Yeah, Bibby is not feeling very well today, so you have a one-man scoop, a dollop, as we like to call it. How are you all doing? If you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. I can see JMK was in nice and early with the exclamation mark time. The time is currently Wednesday, 1:40 p.m. And 38 seconds, which is basically 10 a.m. I agree, chatbot. Thank you very much for that. P-Ed, do you do 99s with a flake? Of course we do. Ice cream uploads, mate. Ice cream uploads, mate. Let me just head over to Twitter on my phone and hit retweet on the tweets that we've just put out saying that we are live. Now, if you guys can do that, that would be very much appreciated. Just head to twitter.com/Ice Cream Uploads, hit retweet and like on the live now tweet. Plus, if you're checking the replies, we do post a link separately now. If you wonder why that is, that's because Twitter algorithms, if you have a link in your post linking people outside of Twitter, they don't like that. So you get more exposure by not linking to content off Twitter. So basically, we put one tweet up going, hey, and then we put another tweet up going, oh, the link's here, by the way. So if you can just hit like and retweet on those, that would be very, very much appreciated. But you do not have to. We would appreciate if you just sit around, take a little bit of time to talk some video game news with us. Do you know what? I'll make it easier for you. I'll put the links in the chat. There you go, right there. Nice. How are we doing? Ads, 10 a.m.-ish. Exactly. It's 10 a.m.-ish. It's 10 a.m.-ish. Right? So yeah, if you don't know what this is, my name is Graham. I'm usually joined by Bibby, and we are Ice Cream Uploads. Well, not just us. There is actually a bunch of us, but we are the people that you usually see on Ice Cream Uploads. We will bring you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories of the world of video games each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish, apart from yesterday where we didn't bring you any news at all, and today when it's 10 to 2. But you get the idea. We do go live whenever we can. We work in video games, so that's why there's an ish on our content. We bring you the news whenever we can around our daily. So we'd appreciate if you guys can all get involved throughout the streams, because we don't know when they're going to be. Speaking of which, a little bit of housekeeping up front. Two things to mention. First of all, it was the loot drop on Monday, which we were going to draw on Tuesday, but we didn't do a stream on Tuesday. So I will draw that at the end of the show today. Please do feel free to stick around for that. Also, in terms of content today, there will be no chasing crates with mates tonight. Me and Lotus have had a massive falling out.
Rigged.
This is a massive falling out. Rigged, should I say. Yeah, no, we've had a massive falling out. We haven't had a massive falling out, really. Basically, I'm off to Old Trafford. So tomorrow will hopefully be the Chasing Crates with Mates stream instead. So there will be no Wednesday evening stream. I will be going to watch the foosball. Rather than just missing it while I'm streaming games. I will be there, nice, eating foods and stuff. So please do feel free to join us tomorrow night from 10 a.m. 10 a.m.? No, that's tomorrow day. 6:30-ish. Whatever. Nice. So yeah, Chasing Crates with Mates. It's a massive moth, bib. Absolute unit. So yeah, tomorrow night for Chasing Crates with Mates, not tonight. It should hopefully be Chasing Core Rates as well. On a Wednesday, we usually play with the boys, but every other Wednesday, we jump in with Code Red as well. So do feel free to join us. Hopefully, we can get the Code Red boys in as well, but with a change of circumstances, we'll have to see. Nice. How are we doing, 12? Is Beans still the non-fucking cunt one? I don't know what that means. Oh, the Beans is now this one.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you...
But if you're old school and you think, do you know what? That's not what Beans originally was. Beans originally was...
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you...
Nice. But then you think, do you know what, actually? I'm not quite old school, but I'm also not a fan of the new school. Actual gas on stream? I'd rather have some straight-up expletives.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you...
Oh, you fucking cunt!
Nice. There you go. So I added all three of them. Let's go! I do actually really like this one. So a little bit of context for this. Let me play it one more time. If you listen to this on the podcast services, you don't know what's going on, it's fine. Just go with it.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you...
So Beans was doing some sit-ups on stream, and one of his viewers played an audio noise that made a fart noise. And Beans had just gone, my stomach! And then it went, pfft. And then, yeah, that's where that comes from. So if you know it, you know it. Nice. Anyway, As mentioned, I am here to give you my thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, the breaking stories in the world of video games, but I want to hear yours too, and it's important that you do because Bibby isn't here today. It's just me talking at you, so if you talk back, this whole works a little bit better. Please do feel free to get involved, as we'll jump through a bunch of stories. 2 on Activision, 1 about the UK games market, 1 about Monster Energy, which I know Nietzsche will like, Nintendo repairing Joy-Con controllers, and Free Game Wednesday. That's nice. So yeah, do feel free to stick around for that. And it's important, as I will give you my thoughts and impressions on those stories, I want to hear your thoughts and impressions, then your thoughts and impressions on my thoughts and impressions. It's important that you do that because the live stream, we are live on Twitch now, is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music and Google Play. So please do feel free to get involved, and all those people that do watch and listen on behalf, because there's over 200,000 of them. God damn, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of words. As mentioned, before we do jump into the news, we will be doing the loot drop after we finished with the news stories today. Also, shout out to the sponsors of the channel, ! GT Omega. I know that the chairs have started arriving now for Blitz, and I assume the rest of Blitz's team have probably got their chairs now from the Royal Rumble, which is what you love to see, so shout out to those. Also, rumour has it that I'm working on a little bit of, you know, nice content, some content that we can keep going from now until the end of the year on PUBG, which will have some prizes in it from our partners at Astro. So if you're interested in some Astro /Logitech G /Blue microphones, then just feel free to keep watching. Sometime over the next week or two, we'll announce that. So there will be some content coming. Spoilers. Nice. Tease. Nice. For now, though, we are going to talk about video games news. So we do have 2 stories today. You may have seen. Also, shout out to Bib. Bib was ill this morning, but still pulled the news together and did the thumbnail. So pretty much has done all the work. God damn. And he pulled this story together saying Activision Blizzard has been sued by the US Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. That was the headline story that he shared this morning. And there has been an update to that. So we'll go through that story to start things off. But talking about Activision Blizzard, if you're interested in AAA survival games, I've added an extra story to the agenda today that Bibby didn't have in. And that is because it's only just breaking news. Activision Blizzard has a completely new AAA survival game in the works. I say only breaking news. It was actually announced later on yesterday, but it's only started doing the rounds properly today. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the value of the UK games market is dropping. It dropped to 7.05 billion. Nice. So is that it? Goddamn. Monster Energy goes after an indie dev for using the word monster. Or is that's it? Fuck, we're going to get a strike now because we've said it twice then. Nintendo pledges to repair UK Switch Joy-Cons for free until further notice, and there's an update to that too. And then we'll talk about the next wave of games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Hashtag, ! Free Game Wednesday. Nice. So grab yourself a brew. Grab yourself a drink. I know I've got some. Because there is only me, you don't get the smooth transition of it. So when I've got the news on screen, I'll usually change the titles around. You don't see me getting my drinks. You probably hear me coughing and stuff, but you hear less of it. But because it's just me, there will be a lot more of that stuff. Like this. Sexy drink time. Nice. Okay, let's jump in. First news story of the day, written by Tom Ivan over at VGC. And he says that Activision Blizzard has been sued by the US Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. Your jacket looks like my in-game jacket. Very nice. That's what it is. Yeah. Just
my name is Optimus Prime.
Iceman!
Partly because I'm sick of that Renfield ad capper.
Well, I've got Twitch Turbo, so I don't see the Renfield ads. So I'll take your words for it, and I will also take your double-babied sub. 18 months, Iceman. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that very, very much. How are the streams coming along as an affiliate? What you saying? But Batman Dan, this is the in-game jacket, as you can probably tell from the PUBG logo just there. Nice. I got it free. Someone sent it to me the other week, which is nice. It's just, it doesn't have the level of shininess. I believe it's like a leathery jacket in game, but yeah, we'll take it. Anyway, back to the story. There is an update to this story about the US Justice Department suing Acti-Blizzard for suppressing esports wages. The update says a settlement has been reached in the dispute over Call of Duty and Overwatch League salaries. So Activision Blizzard has been sued by the US Justice Department for alleged antitrust violations related to its esports business. In a civil lawsuit filed on Monday, the Justice Department claimed rules imposed by Activision Blizzard have limited competition for players in its Overwatch and Call of Duty professional esports leagues and suppressed player wages. The complaint, which was filed in the US District Court for the District of Columbia, accuses Activision and the independently owned teams in its esports leagues of implementing a, quote, competitive balance tax designed to penalise teams if player compensation exceeded a threshold set by the game maker. There is an update, but I'll come back to that one in just a second. Quote, video games and esports are among the most popular and fastest growing forms of entertainment in the world today, and professional esports players, like all workers, deserve the benefits of competition for their services. Activision's conduct prevented that from happening, said Jonathan Cantor, Assistant Attorney General of the Justice Department's Antitrust Division. Today's lawsuit makes it clear that the antitrust division remains committed to protecting workers across all types of industries from anti-competitive conduct. The antitrust division has also filed a proposed consent decree related to its concerns. Pending court approval, it would forbid Activision from imposing rules that would limit player compensation or that would penalise teams for paying players above a certain amount in wages. In the US Federal Trade Commission, do you know what, we don't need to talk about the acquisition. What we will do is jump up to the update, though. So that was the news on this. Since then, it has been updated. So the US Justice Department has reportedly agreed to a settlement with Activision Blizzard. A spokesperson for the game's publisher provided VGC with the following statement, quote, Activision Blizzard Esports is committed to being a leader in the esports industry and creating opportunities for players to earn fair pay and benefits. When we launched the Overwatch and Call of Duty leagues, nice, we wanted to create viable career opportunities for the players requiring minimum salaries and mandatory benefits as part of player contracts. As a league, we also wanted our products to be competitive, so we carefully designed and implemented the competitive balance tax. We have always believed, and still believe, that the competitive balance tax was lawful and it did not have an adverse effect on players' salaries. The tax was never levied, and the leagues voluntarily dropped it from our rules in 2021. We remain committed to a player ecosystem with fair pay and healthcare and continue to have the least restrictive player mobility compensation system across all of the major esports leagues. That's the update. Okay, let me jump back to the chat. Not bad, but on holiday from last Sunday to Good Friday. Next one, likely Good Friday. Nice. Yeah, we go on holiday from Good Friday for 10 days. Well, yeah, 10 days. So there won't be any scheduled content at all next week. Just a reminder for everyone else in the chat, by the way. There will be no scheduled content on Ice Cream Uploads for next week. Remember. Although, rumour has it, we are going to be taking part in a little Code Red event. That's what I'm saying. Do you know? Okay, Acti-Blizzard. Does that fit? Yeah, that fits. Acti-Blizzard sued by US Justice Department. Nice! See, all that stuff. I do that stuff kind of while Baby's talking, so you don't really notice the pauses and the breaks, but when Baby's not here, you have to see it, but it is what it is. So Activision Blizzard has been sued by the US Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. Either that or Dept for department. Yeah, same. It's in now. It fits. That's what she said. If it didn't fit, then we'd have done that. I'd have gone for Acti-Blizz. Oh yeah, Dept. But nice. So they've been sued. And do you know what? This is a difficult one. This would actually be a good one for Bib, because Bibby is esports manager at Jelly Media, so he has some good insight in this. Obviously, I do work in the same team, so I do have insights too, but it would be good to bounce ideas off other people. But without knowing this inside out and how the competitive balance tax works, it's quite difficult for me to talk about this at length. Other than, I mean, what was it designed to do? It says here it's designed to penalise teams if player compensation exceeded a threshold set by the game maker. So what does that class as player compensation? Does anyone know about this? How does this work? Because I originally took that as player compensation. If players are getting too much money, they get a competitive balance tax, as in if one team starts smashing it in the league and they take too much prize money, that teams then get taxed to filter that back into other teams in the league. Is that what that is? Because on some elements, that does sound nice. Oh yeah, sharing the wealth around the league, make sure everyone gets a bit of cash. But that's communism, not capitalism, which is what the whole thing is based upon. Teams are paying 25 million to get involved in the Overwatch League. I don't know if that's still the figure, by the way. But Overwatch League and Call of Duty leagues and so on have things like London Spitfire and LA Thieves, and these brands are usually sub-brands of larger brands. Like the LA Thieves is actually 100 Thieves, and London Spitfire is that FaZe Clan, or is it a different? Or is it a different one? I can't remember. Fnatic maybe. I can't quite figure it out. I can't quite remember. Either way, these teams are spending 25 million to franchise their way into the leagues. Surely that, plus advertising revenue, plus audience gate receipts and stuff, shouldn't mean that there should be any form of competitive balance tax in there. The league should have enough to compensate all teams handsomely anyway, and then all players can earn off the back of that. There shouldn't be any restrictions on actually Erling Haaland. You've scored too many goals in the Premier League now, so your goal bonus that's in your contract it was good, but you're scoring too many, so we don't really like that. So we're going to take that back off you. And if that is the way it works, that's a bit shit. Which is why the US Justice Department has jumped in and said, actually, you can't do that. This should be an open industry. You shouldn't have anything that you can put in place, contractually or not, to stop a player from earning just because you can't keep up with their abilities. It should be a free market. So that's why the US Justice Department has jumped in. I do welcome the fact that Activision Blizzard have removed competitive balance taxes. Kenny! Thank you very much. I was waiting for the TTS. There was no TTS, but thank you for the 4-month sub, dude. I appreciate that. How you doing? Gagad, welcome in. How are you diddling? It's just me today. There is no baby today. You've got a one-man scoopage. Sounds a bit like skill-based matchmaking, but for wages. Yeah, a little bit. So I do like the fact that Activision Blizzard have removed that, but it absolutely sits in a little bit of word salad. So basically, the US Justice Department have said you can't restrict a player of immense talent from earning what they are deserving from that immense talent because it's not fair on other people. You can't gatekeep their earning potential because you feel like actually you're too good. That's the point of esports and competition. So they've made them take that out. And the fact that Activision Blizzard have already removed it is good, but I don't like the way that they go. We have always believed, this is a quote by Activision Blizzard, by the way, we have always believed and still believe that the competitive balance tax was lawful and it did not have an adverse effect on player salaries. The tax was never levied. Stop there, then. So it was lawful, and it didn't ever have an adverse effect on player salaries because it wasn't levied. Then why does it exist? And you got rid of it from your rules voluntarily in 2021. You probably got like rumbling of the US Justice Department looking at it and thought, shit, yeah, probably let's get rid of that. So they yeeted it before it was yeeted themselves. So jump before you are pushed is effectively the way that reads to me. That's just word salad for, no, we thought we were fine, but we still got rid of it. So why did you get rid of it? If you believed and still believe that your competitive balance tax was lawful and didn't have any adverse effects, why did you voluntarily get rid of that back in 2021? So, it's because it had the potential to, in their words, remove a player ecosystem with fair pay and healthcare. It had the potential to damage players' health, players' wage, and all the rest. Imagine the strain that you'd be under. It's like, well, what's the point of me continuing at a top level if I'm just getting penalised? I've earned too much in this bracket, this window, this season, however they were calculating it. So every extra kill I get, every dub that I take my team towards, just means that's more money that I'm being penalised for. So it doesn't exist anymore, not just because they voluntarily dropped it, but because clearly it was not fit for purpose. The US Justice Service Department thought that, and they clearly thought enough to get rid, but it's gone. So fair dues. How are you diddling, Kenny? Oh, we've got a Kenny emote as well. Nice. How was your weekend, Kenny? How you diddling, Gagad? We're going to jump ahead. We're going to stick with Activision Blizzard, though. Talking about the fact that Acti-Blizz was sued by the US Justice Department doesn't stop them from potentially releasing bangers, though. As we'll take the... Nope, that one. There we go. Nice. Take that off. Bring this one back up. This is written by LIANG at The Gamer. And the article says, Activision Blizzard has a completely new AAA survival game in the works. The Blizzard survival game has been in development for several years and looks to be totally new. Woo! Spicy. So you may have heard of the Activision Blizzard. Yeah, you know, they release Call of Duty, that little shooter series. They also do Warcraft, Candy Crush, and have made headlines for questionable working environments, to put it very lightly. Oh, and it's also been valued at nearly $70 billion as Microsoft tried to buy it outright. But amongst all that, Activision Blizzard also make games. Even fucking absolute intensive advertisements going on here, goddamn. Even completely new games no one's ever heard of before. We're talking brand new IP. Spotted by games market analyst Rishi Alwani on Twitter, a job posting indicates the games giant is in the process for hiring for a completely new title that is as yet unnamed and unrevealed. This is a new survival game from Blizzard. Not this is Resident Evil. And it looks to be totally new and not based on previously existing series. So the LinkedIn listing shows Blizzard Entertainment seeking a senior producer on an, quote, unannounced survival game, end quote, for its offices in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Quote, a new world and a new journey await you, the job listing begins. It is a world different from any other Blizzard has created. It continues, offering a tantalizing hint that this new game could really be something novel. Quote, we have a new AAA survival game in the works set in a new IP for PC/console, the listing reads. It's going to be amazing and we are excited to bring you along for the ride. Together, we'll build something big, bold and beautiful. There's more, but it's mostly the usual job post spiel. While Activision Blizzard has several major games, it's now mostly known for supporting them with new updates or new entries in their respective series. So this is something new for the studio, as Alwani notes. The last new IP out of Blizzard was Overwatch in 2016. The free-to-play multiplayer shooter has done pretty well, though, which shows new IP can be a rewarding risk. Ooh, spicy meatball. Anyone interested in some survival games? I mean, I really am. I just need one to scratch my itch. And it's some that could do that, but just don't really. Fair to diddling. That's good. We'll take that. On a hump day, fair to diddling. It only goes up from this point, right? I'm good, buddy. Glad to hear it, Kenny. Just saw your tweet. I hope PUBG can use that Cronus to tech or develop their own. I actually shared that Cronus stuff in the Lotus section of the Discord. So if you don't know, Lotus has his very own section in the ICU Discord, and I posted it yesterday. It was, I think it was a Modern Warfare, a Modern Warzone. I think that's the Twitter account, Modern Warzone tweet that I saw yesterday. So I shared it with Lotus yesterday, saying, "There's a number." It's like, it's a good job I don't play Call of Duty then, but it was that sort of thing. Yeah, if it exists, if BattlEye can do that for Call of Duty or not, what is the Ricochet? If Ricochet can do that for Call of Duty, then yeah, something like that could exist for PUBG. So for those that don't know what it is, that's Cronus tech. So Cronus is basically an add-on that helps to reduce recoil and combat recoil in games like Call of Duty, PUBG, and so on. And Call of Duty have just announced that they have stuff to figure out when people are using that stuff and ban them. So if it can exist in one game, hopefully it can be pushed to another pretty easily. Inevitably packed with loot boxes, microtransactions for something like for those who don't want to worry about supplies, Kappa. Yeah, is the new survival game being a woman or gay trying to survive in the Activision Blizzard offices? Yeah, probably. Although to be fair to Activision on that, and don't get me wrong, take that with a pinch. We are very, very severely unhappy with the way Activision Blizzard has treated their staff over the last however many years. We've covered it many, many times. The only thing I will say is, to be fair, either they are getting the unfair rub here because I haven't heard anything recently. So either they have changed their ways, and that's where the fairness comes in, and they are actively improving their storylines, I say storylines, the way they're treating their staff, or the storylines have just been favourable in terms of there's been other stories and there's nothing new there. So, giving them the benefit of the doubt, they may have actually made some substantial changes there, but I don't know that for certain. So, if anyone does have anything on that, please do feel free to let us know, because it's not making headlines anymore, which either means it's not headline worthy, which is a good thing, or people just aren't bothered about it, which is a sad thing. Fortnite have got one and COD have got one, so hopefully PUBG are next. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But for now, though, let's jump back into this story. Activision Blizzard has a completely new AAA game in the works, a AAA survival game. I'm happy with this, because survival games they are slogs. They are long time sinks, but in a good way. Like, if you get into a game of DayZ, it can be incredible. Like, the idea, like the hype, the suspense is phenomenal. Unfortunately, games like PUBG are going the other way, because the battle royale genre is evolving in a way that is taking it more into the mainstream, into the easy access multiplayer genre, rather than where it started, where which was an offshoot of survival games. PUBG came from DayZ sort of genres, and I love that vibe. The fact that DayZ has so much risk reward. You can watch a stream, you can play a game for DayZ, and you could be in it for fucking hours, like looting, basically barely keeping yourself alive, getting fucking all sorts of injuries that you're having to find ways to treat it, getting yourself water just as you're on the verge of dehydration and death, and then just find one person will just pop you in the back and it could be game over. Or vice versa, you could do that to someone else. You could be just about the risk of death. You've got one bullet left in a rusty gun. Boom. One well-placed headshot. You've got all the loot, food, meds, and resources that someone else had. But you can feel the tension of having shootouts from one building across an open field to another building at the other end of the open field. All that sort of stuff in survival games is badass. My issue with DayZ, though, is not DayZ. It's time. DayZ is a game that was made, what, is it 8 years, 9 years ago now? It could even be longer. If anyone knows when DayZ was first released, please do. I mean, obviously, like, first release in terms of accessible, not final version of the game. The game hasn't progressed as much as I was hoping it could. Like, don't get me wrong, it still looks pretty, especially if you play it on a PC at high resolutions and all your texture rates and stuff are up. It still looks good, but compared to other games out there, it's just not modern enough, which is why I want something like The Day Before to be exceptional, because The Day Before, if you haven't seen that, looks incredible. It could also be an urban legend and never actually turn into anything, but it looks great. So if Activision Blizzard are doing that, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had things like DayZ and we've had Scum, and you mention it. There is tons of survival games out there, differing genres, differing settings, different time zones that they're actually based in and so on. But a modern, evacuated city, everything that I like about PUBG, modern day buildings, compounds, vehicles, energy drinks, painkillers, stuff that you actually get, and energy drinks as well, skadoosh, stuff that you can pick up in shops and whatever, are in the game. I don't want to have to like craft some form of medicinal plant out of herbs and things like that. I don't want to put a few bits of metalwork together to make a mega shield or whatever. I want a bulletproof vest. I want all of that stuff in a very snazzy, shiny, pretty game, and hopefully that is the angle that Activision Blizzard are going. They may not. They've got a lot of fantasy in their successful titles, like their legend shooters and so on. Obviously, Blizzard has a lot of fantasy in the ranks of Warcraft and things like that. It's not my bag. If you can get me a polished DayZ, then you definitely have my attention. It's the lack of polish on DayZ is the only reason I'm not playing that game. Game Before doesn't exist. It's a lie. Sheep, welcome in, dude. Shroud's new game, I think, will be a good survival game. As he's a DayZ player, he knows what's good and bad. Is that the one? Oh, someone's at the door. Fun times. The one time the fucking doorbell goes, and Baby's not even on the stream. So BRB! Fun times. Fun times. This is the awkward bit where Bibby's got to cut this out now. Turn it into a... So usually we just export from Twitch. Straight over to YouTube. But we can't be doing that with like a 5-minute segment. We'll have to put some ads or something in the middle. Okay, where did I get to? Oh, yeah, that was it. Shroud. Is Shroud's new game the one that is developing with Sacriel? Is it a survival game? Okay, now he's gone. I'm in charge. Big changes. First off, ICU is now US-based. Sorry, blokes. God damn it, no. What's your first big call, Batman Dan? Tumbleweed rolls past a barren chair. Get out of my head, sheep. Please line up for biscuits and gravy. Vote a doorstep. Oh, God, bother her. Oh, shit, he's back. Wasn't me. It was actually... So my daughter's mate was staying over. And it was just... She was being picked up. And rather than answering the door, my child just decided to be like, whatever. So, okay, great. Nice. So, yeah, there we go. Fun times. Children, let's go, baby. So, Activision Blizzard has a completely new AAA survival game in the works. Exciting. Potentially. I hope it is. I hope it's more boots on the ground, modern day, real world stuff, rather than crafting all sorts of gauntlets and longbows and shields and all that sort of stuff. I want to see guns. I want to see discarded Remington sniper rifles. I want ACOG scopes and all of that sort of stuff in it. And then you have my interest. Genuinely. I have an itch for a survival game. I want to play a survival game. I played a bunch of... What's it called? State of Decay. The day before, isn't that yesterday? Whoa. Yeah, I have an itch for a survival game. That's why we played a bunch of State of Decay during lockdown. That was to tee us up into going into the day before. Day before got delayed. State of Decay 3 has been delayed. There's been problems at State of Decay 3 studios in terms of staff treatment and so on. So that's not in the greatest state. So we're just kind of lingering, limping on. So I hope that we do get State of Decay 3, or we get the day before, or whatever Activision Blizzard on gets announced sometime soon, so that we can get a good, serious, modern day survival game. Because I feel like all we've had to survive on is old school remnants that are still the best out there, but not necessarily the best they could be, or new school rip-offs that just don't really get what survival games should be. And if Activision Blizzard can do it, we've seen that Activision Blizzard can take community-led products like Battle Royale and turn it into community-leading products like Warzone. So if Activision Blizzard can do that, I am very, very much in for trying it. Yes, please. What is Dr. Disrespect's new game? You like a PvE or PvP survival game? A bit of both. A bit of both. I want PvE en masse. I want to be able to go out and loot. I want to be able to have some zombies, animals, whatever it is. I want to potentially die to the environments. I want all of that stuff. But then I want the risk of having other players in there as well. Because PvE, you might as well play single player games if you just have that all the time. In my opinion, the PvP stuff is what makes it okay, it gets serious now. Because if one stray shot or one well-placed fucking trap or something changes the entire game from you, that's the randomness of other people is what makes survival worth it. Because you've got all of the grind of PvE versus the excitement of PvP. That's the way it works for me. So I feel like it needs to have both. A lot of PvE and some calculated PvP. If you just have lots of PvP, it's not quite... It's over the top, if that makes sense. A toilet cam simulator. Yeah, exactly. And so the Doc's... Oh, Dead Drop. There we go. Yeah, that's the Doc's new game. Dead Drop. It's not a survival game. It's kind of like Tarkov in terms of it's an extraction game, but it's a tower game. So imagine Tarkov meets PUBG, but having a circle, rather than closing in across the map, the circle comes in from underneath the map. So you have to get up the tower. The bits I've seen didn't look very good. I watched the Doc's broadcast on it. I'm a big Dr. Disrespect fan. The broadcast wasn't very good either. Dead Drop, I'm not so sure that's going to be great. Exactly, yeah. I would love a survival extraction game that plays well on console. Same. That is disappointing if true. Yeah, I think a Tarkov-style survival game would be best. Yeah, it will likely sell a fair bit due to his name alone. Exactly, and it already has done. He already is selling bits. The thing is, he's quite clever. And him being him and all of the Midnight Society, which is the studio behind it, they have some very, very good people there. And the game isn't great right now. And the game probably, realistically, isn't a game that I would be interested in for the long term. It's got that weird sci-fi, retro, futuristic, postmodern vibe that just... Steampunk? Cyberpunk-esque? Nah, I'd rather go for boots on the ground. I like watching the Doc playing PUBG. I like watching the Doc playing Call of Duty. I don't want the Doc playing spacey shooters, and that's kind of what Dead Drop is for me. There's a film. Is it called The Tower Block or something? The Tower or something like that? Or is it part of? Is it just Dread? Maybe it's just Dread? Like, maybe I'm mixing two films. I watched two films about a decade ago that maybe have just merged into one. But there's basically one tower block, and you've got to get to the big fucking boss at the top. Dread did it. Oh, did Dread do it as well? Okay. And I've not watched Dead Drop enough to fully get how it works, but that's kind of what it feels like for me. But that sci-fi fantasy that Dread has is something that is cool. But I don't want that in my time sink game. I want modern day boots on the ground. Once again, just my personal preference. So yeah, Dead Drop in that sense loses me for the long term, but the functions and mechanics of what I've seen so far is not great. But that's what I'm saying. This is where it gets really good because they've got some really good people there. Dr. Disrespect, obviously, the likes of Robert Baldwin, who was 402 working on the Call of Duty games. Some of my favorite Call of Duty games like Modern Warfare 2. So seeing those bits in the studio and them coming out with exactly what Stadia should have done, rather than going, this is the big finished game. They've gone, oh yeah, we're creating, I don't know what they call them. The rest of the industry calls them a vertical slice, basically a demo. We're at a point where we've got another vertical slice for you to play, another vertical slice for you to play. They release tower keys to give you access to set betas and so on, which is fine. Not great from what we've seen so far, but where it's come from, it's actually quite improved. So they are quite smart in that sort of sense, in the fact that if they release something and it's not quite good, they can go, oh, we've not finished yet, and just do it again. Which, if they do that, eventually they will get it right, providing the game can be made right with the mechanics that it has. Doc playing PUBG is so good to watch. Tell me about it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Where do we get to? There's a free-to-play Division-branded survival game, Heartland, due to come out, but it's all gone quiet. Yeah, we covered Division Heartland quite a bit. I actually thought it had come out because it's that quiet on it. Dread did it. Okay, if you never played the Division survival mode, you're missing out. It's fixed spawn, which is the only negative. Not played it. Missing out. Sylvester Stallone is Dread. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really love the Sylvester Stallone Dread film, but the Carl Urban one for me, winner. I think that's just such a better film. Although I am low. Sylvester Stallone. There you go. Physically, yes, but his Dread needed a better story. Yeah. No, he is the law. Carl Urban is Dread. There you go. You never see me and Sylvester Stallone in the same room, have you though? No, wait. Okay, let's jump ahead. Let's talk about the UK video games industry instead. Tom Ivan at VGC says the value of the UK games market has dipped to 7.05 billion in 2022, but it was still up 17% compared to pre-pandemic levels, according to trade body UK. Imagine that. The entire UK games market is only 1/10 the value of Activision Blizzard. So the UK games market over 10 years is only the same as what Activision Blizzard is worth right now. Whoa. Anyway, so the value of the UK games market dipped to 7.05 billion in 2022, according to trade body UK. Although the figure represents a 5.6% decline compared to 2021, when the value of the market hit a revised record of 7.47 billion, Yuki said it was still 17% above pre-pandemic levels. Quote, this figure represents a stabilization following several years of unprecedented growth, the trade body said in its newly published consumer market valuation report. Compared to 2021, sales of all forms of video game hardware fell 19% last year to 2.16 billion. Console hardware revenue was down 27% year-on-year to 832 million. PC hardware fell 14% to 760 million. Console game and accessory sales declined 15% to 396 million. And VR hardware was down 6.6% to 171 million. Quote, console hardware remained the biggest sector in game hardware, but saw the steepest decline in 2022, due in part to the natural progression and uptake of 9th generation consoles, which is set against the decline of the previous generation, according to Dorian Block, senior content director at GFK. Other factors included well-documented supply chain component issues, higher cost of raw materials due to shortages and shipping slowdown at warehouses and ports, which all affected hardware sectors, including video games. Much can still be attributed to COVID uncertainty, but the Russia-Ukraine war, recession, inflation, rising energy, food/living costs all play a part in dampening consumer confidence, with consumers putting off major purchase decisions, including, of course, game hardware. Okay, we'll stop there. There is a lot of stuff to go over there. We don't really need to... What the fuck?
Guess what?
What's that?
Cold beans ain't hot.
All right.
Pluck. And now you bleed in.
Now you're bleeding. And Brexit, exactly, yeah. Lotus, thank you for 19 months. I appreciate that very, very much. How you doing? Hey. And Brexit. You know, Brexit, the poshest TTA ever. I DM you, Bled, when you get a chance. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, boy. You might not have access to that. So if not, I will come back to you, or I will do it for you in response. Yep. Okay. It's letting me. I was just asking. Go for it. If it's doing it, do it. Yeah, boy. So console hardware is dropping, as is PC hardware, as is software, as is every form of purchasing option within the UK video games industry. It's dipped by $500 million in 2022 compared to the previous year. numerous factors. Obviously, it mentions COVID uncertainty, the cost of living, the fact that we were all stuck inside and the only thing we could do was play video games, and now we can go to football games, we can go on holiday, we can just mooch around in the park, we can do skiing and all the stuff that we couldn't do previously. Whew. Batman Dan! Thank you very much for the sub as well. I appreciate that. 2 months, Batman Dan. Oof! And we're on our way to a hype train as well. If anyone has one, this is the time to get involved. Start off the choo-choo. Imagine buying food over gaming stuff. I know, imagine that. Hambone, welcome in. Good morning, dude. How you diddling? Actually, I've not even put the title up. UK games market has dipped. Let me put that up. Bop, 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 bop. In 22. Okay, on screen. Bop. So the UK games market dipped in 2022. It's kind of natural because COVID, all of the uncertainties that come off the back of that, the fact that we are in a world led by shit stains that have destroyed the cost of living and competitive markets for pretty much everyone everywhere, unless you are an absolute chinbag with a name like Jacob Rees-Mogg or another polysyllabic surname, hyphenated, and monocles, basically Tories, is what I'm trying to say. Unless, you will have been affected negatively. Then you throw in things like Gaga said, Brexit and stuff like that. There's so much uncertainty compared to pre-pandemic, but even still, the market is still much stronger. So is this a sign that the UK games industry is in trouble? No, it's just a sign that the world is fucked because the market is still up 17% compared to pre-COVID. So if anyone tells you, games, they had their moment of limelight, that ain't the case. Video games are massive and continue to be massive. Almost 1/5 as big as they were pre-COVID. They're just normalizing now because they've done so much heavy lifting that other industries couldn't maintain. And as we see, other industries, that includes supplying and sourcing within the industries. Things like semiconductor sourcing, the whole semiconductor shortage, not being able to get chips that you need just to put inside components of your hardware. All of that stuff, despite all of that, the market is still 17% up compared to pre-pandemic, but naturally has had a drop since last year. Am I bothered? No, mate. Where's Nietzsche when you need him? Exactly. So right. I wonder if I can use mine yet. I don't think I can. I think mine is like tomorrow. Let me see. Resub. Prime. Yay.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Thank you, me! Yay! We got a hype train! Imagine that. Goddamn. So yeah, if anyone does want to throw down any bitties, any subbies, any whatever, I don't know what the timer is. You've got 4 minutes to do so. You don't have to. We're not that bothered about the hype trains. It's just nice to get one every now and then. This soon after lockdown ending, it shouldn't be called a dip. I think because people just want to escape the house after being stuck in it for the better part of 2 years. Exactly. I mean, we're going on our first holiday for like 5 years this year, and a lot of other people will have had similar sort of situations. There was a few years pre-lockdown where we didn't go on holiday because we went on a bigger holiday about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, whatever it was now. Then we tried to go on another holiday, and then there was things like Thomas Cook going bust and other stuff, which meant that we didn't really get to do the holiday thing. And then we got a pandemic. So a lot of people, like me, as Forney says, are out there touching grass, experiencing the real world. Doesn't necessarily mean that the UK games industry is fucked. So, yeah, it's good. It's good that the games industry still maintains a 20% growth on the industry compared to what it was pre-pandemic. That's all we really need to focus on that. The fact that the rest of the world is struggling, the fact that people are choosing whether to fucking freeze to death versus putting their heating on. I saw some heartbreaking stories in the news yesterday. Video games are fine. We're all doing fine. Let's move ahead. You're all doing fine, unless you have the word monster in your video game. This is written by VASPAAN, DASTOOR at the Gamer. It says, Monster Energy goes after an indie dev for using the word monster. This isn't the first time the beverage brand is going after a dev for using the word. So Monster Energy markets itself as a drink for gamers. You've surely noticed it as a sponsor for various events and even placed within some games, most notably Death Stranding. However, despite its outwardly image of a brand for gamers, Monster Energy doesn't really seem to like video game developers. The energy drink is once again going after a developer for using the word monster in its game title. The last time something like this happened was in 2020, when the beverage brand clashed with Ubisoft over the name Gods and Monsters, the original name for Immortals Phoenix Rising. At the time, Monster claimed that the trademark was too similar and would confuse users. Of course, we wouldn't want someone to eat a game disc or pour a drink into their console out of confusion. This time, Monster Energy has decided to flex its muscle at indie developer Glowstick Entertainment, which has made a game called Dark Deception Monsters and Mortals, according to founder and CEO Vincent Livings. The overreaching settlement terms sent to Glowstick state that in exchange for being allowed to use the current name, the studio will have to refrain from naming any other game with a variation of the word monster. Livings has decided to fight the case rather than give in to Monster Energy's demands. Additionally, he also tweeted saying that he will share everything he receives from Monster's lawyers so that other devs who get harassed by them will know their tactics. Quote, "It all forces us to agree to never use a green and white logo on a black background for any game we ever make. So they own the colours green and white too, apparently," Livings tweeted, revealing more of the brand's demands. Quote, "Any logo that has a monster-style font will be deemed confusingly similar to Monster Energy's logo. It demands that we never use one for any future games. This means they could demand that we change Dark Deception's logo as well. It can be applied broadly," end quote. By agreeing to these terms, Dark Deception, Monsters and Mortals could never have a sequel with the word monster in it. What the fuck? What an absolute shit-stain brand. Honestly, forget being like polysyllabic and smarter with the words. They say swearing is for people that have low IQ, that can't think of bigger, better words. I don't want to think of bigger and better words here because this is absolute cunts play. It is. Fact. Monster Energy going after indie devs. So this is devs that don't necessarily have all of the revenue and budget in the world. I mean, they went after Ubisoft, obviously not an indie dev, but going after an indie dev because they want to create a new title because it has the word monster. What about Mary Shelley and Frankenstein's Monster? That was written hundreds of years ago, if I'm not forgotten, if I'm not wrong. Whatever. It was written long before Monster Energy even remotely existed. Surely Mary Shelley could be fucking rolling in the grave going, "Oh, this tragic energy drink's got some sort of scratchy thing." I mean, Frankenstein probably scratched some stuff. So, true story, there's a local cider company that makes a cider with a long-standing variety of apple cider called Red Bull. They issued a cease and desist demand after they branded, produced, bottled, and labelled a big quantity. Red Bull, the company, that is. Interesting. So, were they making the Red Bull brand before Red Bull got involved? But imagine, like, going after an indie dev because of the word monster. You are not going after an indie dev because you are called G Fuel or Wraith Esports Energy. Or, I mean, I've got G Fuel there. I've said that one already. I've got another one. Loot Stacks Energy, whatever. There are brands out there that exist, like Ice Cream Uploads. If someone used Ice Cream Uploads on their content, yeah, that's a bit stupid. But the word ice cream, or the words ice cream, that exists and has existed for longer than we've ever been considered. So for us to try and trademark that is absolute shithousery. Monster Energy, if I say the word monster to you, probably now you're going to think of the drink because we're talking about it. But if I say that to you in general, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word monster? You'll probably like teeth, claws, vampires, werewolves. You wouldn't think of that. If I said Monster Energy, you would. I mean, for me, that's the way it would. If I said monster, if you drink shitloads of it like Nietzsche does, it may be a different story. But for me, I wouldn't I wouldn't instantly associate Monster with that. And that is them. They are so overreaching that their control of their brand is warped by their own perceptions so heavily that they believe that they can force other brands to change their names because of the word that they have put on themselves and assume that they control now. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. Just like the word ninja. Ninjas have existed in all forms of content and social and culture for a lot longer than one blue-haired streamer. Understandably, a lot of people will probably assume the word ninja with him. But if I'm watching a film and someone's talking about a ninja, I'm not going to think, oh, there's a guy with blue hair and streams Fortnite on Twitch or whatever platform he's streaming it now, because there is more to life than just the perception of that brand. And the fact that Monster are pushing this, changing, asking brands to change, not only to, do you know what, we'll let you continue. We'll do you a solid, says Monster here. Actually, let me just put this title up. I don't know if it'll fit. Boom. Boom. Nice. We'll do you a solid. We will allow you to use our name, Monster, only if you agree to, one, not call any other game ever again Monster in any form. So not just calling it Monster, but it could be, fuck, there's a monster. You can't call it that, even though that's something completely different. It's got the word monster in it. You can't have that. You can't have any logo that has green and white in it, because that's what the Monster logo is, green and white. Despite the fact that this article has a Monster can in there, which is scratch marks, in silver on a pink can. There is no green and white in that bit at all. There's silvery bits around it, and the only bit that's white is the word energy down in the logo down here. Silver, pink, silver, black, and that one bit there is white. So you can't have green and white. But yet they don't even need the green and white bit. So I can, as a brand, control what your brand name is or isn't, and what colours you can and can't use, just because I'm an overreaching shit stain. So, fuck's sake, mate. Monster Energy, get in the bin. Disgusting behaviour. Absolutely shocking. And, do you know what? Fair play to this dude. Vincent Livings, the CEO of... Did they say what company he's from? Glowstick Entertainment, there we go. Glowstick Entertainment, the CEO, Vincent Livings, has started sharing some of their shit and has pledged to do the rest. GG to Vincent Livings, because it would be very, very easy to just roll over and go, these guys have got more money than we have. The fact that he's pulling them into the public opinion, he's calling their bluff, GG's, because that's got to be terrifying, because... yeah, Vincent Livings might get some legal representation, but his lawyers probably aren't going to be as good as Monster's. He just needs to know that his lawyers are good enough. And fair play to him, because that could be an absolute wedge of cash and time and effort that he could be out of pocket now. So the fact that he's taking it on, GG's, love to see it. Love to see it. Monster tastes like sweaty frogs in a can anyway. Owns green and white. Celtic are in trouble. Oh, no. I worked through 2 years of pandemic. Now I work from home and I'm more isolated. Just ironic. That's the thing, though. I know people that worked on the front line that it's the opposite way around for them. They just were absolutely swamped and broken. Frontline being NHS in the UK. And post-pandemic, life is actually... like you say, more isolated since then. Horse for course, isn't it? I typed this one, I put it in the Discord. Monster going full king in this saga. Yeah, tragic. That they are the only ones that have ever and will ever use the word monster. The Monster brand was a brand I was ambiguous towards. Oh, that's cool, or not. I don't really care. It does like truck stuff and biking stuff. I know a dude that used to work for Monster and drive their like trucks around the world and so on. So that was interesting. But beyond that, not asked. So the word monster is not something that I instantly associate with an overreaching energy brand. And now it definitely won't be. They can get off that word. It's not anything to do with them, in my opinion. If they can be so toxic and like hasn't similar things happened with Brewdog as well, and brands like the lad Bible stuff. Anyone that's had the word Bible in their stuff can get squashed. You do realise there is an older book called the Bible that has been around a bajillion years. These brands that think they have some form of entitlement to a word that they've used for similar... fuck off. Got no time for it. Touching grass is better than touching cloth. That's facts. It's honestly baffling. It is, Tito. Stupid. Monster Energy should probably go themselves. Terrible. Exactly. How can you trade a single word is baffling. It's stupid. It is stupid. If it's a word that they made up, like if they'd changed monster to be monstra, M-O-N-S-T-R-A-A-A-H, monstra, and people started using that, it's a stupid word. It's definitely your word because it's stupid. Nobody else would use that. I mean, there are less stupid words that people do use and have made up. Fair dues. Use that. Fine. But you're not Apple. And also, Apple there isn't an exclusive use of the word Apple. If you just call yourself just Apple, fair enough. I mean, their Twitter account in this article isn't even at Monster. It's at Monster Energy. So that there is two words there. Even their at account isn't Monster. So they aren't the exclusive Monster out there. They don't even have access to the exclusive Monster Twitter account. So how can they be forcing other people to not use a word when they don't have exclusive access used to it themselves? Fuck off! My wife was hooked on them, converted to G Fuel. What's favourite G Fuel? What's your favourite G Fuel, Batman Dan? Mine is Battle Juice. People usually go for like bigger named ones, but Battle Juice. Tropical, pineapple stuff. It's good. No, but it was simply using a variety of apple, but it's a little more contentious, I admit. Yeah, if it comes after the fact and so on, then I understand a little bit, because that's a drink versus a drink, same names and so on. I understand that one. It's not nice when it's local and it's a company that's just trying to do it, but still, it's close enough. So you could argue quite easily that they were using the name Red Bull just to kind of get people's attention. But yeah. Cranberries will have to change their song then. Exactly. It will change that automatic song. What's that coming over the hill? Is it some sort of creature thing? Some sort of evil creature thing? Yeah, exactly. I'm also reminded when McDonald's went after Irish fast food chain Supermax and tried to stop them expanding outside Ireland. McDonald's ended up losing a couple of trademarks in the EU after that. So they fucking should. So they should. Absolutely. Excuse me. Lady Gaga's in trouble as well with her little monsters. Wait until Gaming Nacho finds out about Mexican food. Oh no! It's like when Lionel Richie went after Adele for using Hello. Did that actually happen? God damn. I would imagine this results in some sour PR for Monster 2. They look like delusional bullies here. I worked at a cemetery and buried nearly 10,000 people in 2 years during the pandemic. Pretty wild. Whoa. Jeez. Not all COVID deaths. I mean, how many do you... What's your sort of average number? So 10,000 in 2 years, is that averaging at 5 in each? Was it up? God damn. Still funny that Monster's bullying worked on Ubisoft, but not Glowstick. Yeah, I think the thing is as well, like, Gods and Monsters, what was that what it was called? Immortals, Gods and Monsters or something. Immortals Phoenix Rising is what it was called, but then, yeah, it was just called Gods and Monsters before. I do feel like I understand that one a little bit more, because I think it was only a project name, and Gods and Monsters is a bit... not bland, a bit generic. Gods and Monsters could be anything from Greek mythology right through to video games. So I understand them changing that. They were probably like, we weren't sure anyway, and we can't be bothered with the bullshit, so we'll just change it. But yeah, it is quite funny. Ubisoft, which was once, up until very, very recently, when CD Projekt smashed it with The Witcher and the build-up to Cyberpunk, Ubisoft was the biggest games developer publisher in the entirety of Europe. And they've rolled over, but Glowstick gone, nah, fuck this shit. You love that. The limited edition Sonic Mango rings right now. Not a fan of mango, so I've never tried it. But then again, I'm not the biggest fan of pineapple, but I like the tropical one, so what do I know? Hold on, an evil monster I know, who we need to beat them. We need the Power Rangers. Dun, 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 dun. Exactly. That did actually happen. Lionel tried to copyright the word hello. Get to fuck, mate. I worked at 3 locations, average 3,000 to 7,000 a year. Sheesh. Busy. I bet you've got arms like an absolute unit. But that explains why you can lift up the GT Omega chair. I find it difficult to dig my spoon into the sugar for one brew, let alone a 6-foot hole. God damn. Just made him look a dick. Yeah, exactly. The word hello, fuck. Literally every fucking language has a different variation of it. Is it going to go through and change it for every fucking country? Fucking dare I mention the shit King pulled with Candy and Saga? We'll leave it there. Monster Energy, if you missed it, if you're only just tuning in, have confirmed themselves as being tiny PP energies that can just get in the bin. Get in the bin. I was ambiguous to the brand of Monster. It's a cool enough brand. It's black, it's green, it's cool, it's modern, it's edgy, it crosses into areas that I don't necessarily thrive in, but I'm open to, like motorbikes and racing and all these other high-octane things. High-octane isn't pulling down little brands just because you've got very tiny PP energy and you're scared that your big brand, my huge PP is definitely big enough, but please don't show your PPs next to my PPs because my little monster PP will disappear. If you understood that analogy and it made sense to you, then well done. You've listened to too many episodes of The Scoop. For now, we'll jump ahead. Nintendo pledges to repair Switch Joy-Cons for free in the UK until further notice. Update, Consumer Watchdog calls for fix to underlying issue and further compensation. So we'll jump down to the original story. Nintendo has formally stated it will repair faulty Switch Joy-Con controllers even if they're out of the standard 24-month warranty free of charge until further notice. This offer applies to Switch owners living in the UK, the European Economic Area, and Switzerland, and covers responsiveness syndrome irrespective of whether this is caused by a defect or by wear and tear. Nintendo Switch owners have long complained of the dreadful Joy-Con drift where the controllers disconnect or begins moving on its own throughout the console's life. In the US, Nintendo's policy of no quibble repairs has already been in place for some time, and anecdotally, reports have surfaced of Nintendo UK quietly repairing some Switch Joy-Con, even out of warranty too. Now, however, this pledge is official. Quote, Nintendo takes great pride in creating high quality and durable products and is continuously making improvements to them, a statement posted on Nintendo's UK support page, and so-called drifting now states as spotted by Nintendo Life. Therefore, until further notice, Nintendo offers to consumers who purchase the respective product in the EEA, UK and Switzerland that repairs for responsiveness syndrome relating to control sticks will be conducted at no charge by official Nintendo repair centers. This applies even if the syndrome is caused by wear and tear, and even if the 24-month manufacturer's warranty provided by Nintendo has expired. The manufacturer's warranty does not affect any statutory rights which you may have under consumer protection legislation. You get the idea. Updates. UK consumer rights group, which has called on Nintendo to go even further in its attempts to compensate customers with faulty Switch Joy-Con. Yesterday, Nintendo quietly confirmed it would now offer free Joy-Con repairs regardless of warranty, but for which that offer does not go far enough. In a fresh statement, which stated Nintendo needed to address the underlying mechanical fault, which it said was to blame for the frequent cases of Joy-Con drift, which have been plaguing gamers for years. It also called on Nintendo to offer compensation to those who had been affected ever since the Switch launched back in 2017. Here's that statement in full. Quote, Nintendo Switch drift has been plaguing gamers for years, and many consumers have been left out of pocket buying expensive replacement controllers, so it's positive that the video game giant has committed to lifelong free repairs, which Director of Policy and Advocacy Rokio Concha said. Which tests found that these chronic Nintendo Switch controller problems are likely due to a mechanical fault, pointing to design flaws that Nintendo must address to prevent faulty controllers ending up in people's homes in the first place. As well as free repairs, Nintendo also needs to commit to compensation, refunds, or replacements for any consumers who have been impacted by this issue since the launch of the console, and promote this scheme so that consumers know that support is available. Eurogamer has contacted Nintendo for more information. Finally, this is tragic that it's taken so long, and it's tragic as well that because it always happens without an apology. Although it is an apology / acceptance of guilt. Nintendo made products that were shit, They weren't shit. They weren't good enough. They weren't fit for purpose for a lot of people for a long period of time. If you bought a controller, it's great. As long as you use it once a month and not very much, fine. That's not what it's for, though. It's meant to be used hours a day, every day, and it goes to shit. That's not wear and tear. If it happens en masse way before a 2-year period, or even fucking en masse after a 2-year period, you are selling a ticking time bomb. You are selling people the need to rebuy into your system again. You are selling expensive required add-ons without the full description. So there's all sorts of flaws, all sorts of ways that this cookie can crumble. But we've got there eventually. Despite it being a thing in the US for ages, it's now a great thing that Nintendo are doing in the UK, despite being out of warranty. No, you limit it to the UK, the EEA, and Switzerland. It's not on everyone can sort this, because you're trying to see, from damage control perspective, how much money you can keep without giving it away for free. So it's good. It's good for consumers. Not as great for Nintendo, but fix it. Rather than just telling people it wasn't a thing for years, which is what happened. Nintendo were like, well, it's your fault. You clearly must have broken it. You must have done something. You've possibly got one dodgy one, but you're out of warranty, so it is what it is. They've now finally acknowledged that there is a problem. They are now fixing it, so GG's for that. Better late than never, but sort the problem. As which ones? Nice. Where did we get to? Still got the squeak, Batman Dan. Oh, what squeak? What squeak? You got a squeak on the chair? You got a squeak on the chair? Is that what it is? They're almost as bad as Paris Hilton trying to copyright That's So Hard. Did she actually try to do that? Yikes. It's there. I made little tunes with it. You can play music while kind of sins. Mark Zuckerberg trademarked the word face. And Reese's actually has a trademark on their orange colour. That's the weird ones I know off the top of the head. Yeah, colours I understand. I do find it weird, but I do understand. Like, there's so many different colours, and for brands to copyright specific, like, Pantones of colours. Suppose I don't know enough about that industry to fight against it. I do find it weird. You copyright a colour. Okay. But, yeah. I bet that annoyed Dirk Benedict and the creators of the A-Team. God damn. I get that certain things coming from a certain region being able to call themselves by the name, like champagne can only be called champagne if it comes from that region. Just copyrighting a word, fuck off. Yeah, like Melton Mowbray pork pies and stuff like that. You can get Melton Mowbray inspired, Italian inspired and stuff. It's not, you can't call it an Italian pizza if it's made in Peterborough. I didn't even think about that, especially since one was clearly before the other. Exactly. Nintendo has big Microsoft energy there. Glad they're owning it now. Post-it Yellow was trademarked too. Really? Wow. Retighten the bolts and apply some new default. And the same thing with my GT chair, and now it's quite as anything. Yep. See, Lotus knows. Do that. Speak to him. He'll sort you right out. Okay. Nintendo is pledging to repair and fix controllers, which it should have done a while ago. GG's for getting there eventually. We'll now jump into one final bit of news before we do the loot drop. So if you are a sub on the channel, if you are like me, who's just subbed, I'm not in it, obviously. Batman Dan, Lotus, Kenny Cobra, Iceman. If you were all a sub on Monday, make sure that you stick around, because if you were a sub at 3 p.m. on Monday when Bibby exported the list, you will be in the loot drop. So we'll draw that just after this. But for now, if you're not winning the loot drop, you can win in by being an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. Nice. So the next wave of Xbox Game Pass titles has been announced. Ghostwire Tokyo, NHL 23, and Minecraft Legends are coming to the service this month. Woo! That's not bad. So Microsoft, he owns Minecraft, nice, has confirmed the next wave of titles coming to Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Iron Brigade will be coming to the service on April 6th, followed by the Xbox port of Ghostwire Tokyo on April the 12th. NHL will be added to EA Play on April the 13th, meaning it will be also available to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. And finally, Minecraft Legends will also be added to Game Pass Library on April the 18th. Nice. Microsoft has confirmed that the following titles will be leaving Game Pass on April the 15th. Life is Strange True Colors, Moonglow Bay, Panzer Corps 2, Rainbow Six Extraction, The Dungeon of... what the fuck is that word? Nahoilbiuk? Nice. The Long Dark and The Riftbreaker. For details on all of the games coming to Game Pass, they are available within this article. There you go. Iron Brigade, Ghostwire Tokyo, NHL 2023, and Minecraft Legends. I'm not going to go through those, but if you do want, do let me know, and I'll drop the link to the article in the chat. Nice, free game. Boop, boop, Wednesday. Skadoosh. So those are the free games. If you're on Game Pass, they will be free at different dates throughout the month. Nice. I definitely didn't say I was going to do that 2 weeks ago. My bad, didn't see you 2 weeks ago. My sub expired at some point on Monday. Don't know when. Let me see if you were in it, Iceman. No. Iceman's not in it. No. You are not in the sub export list. I've got it all prepped up. There was 72 names in it on Monday. I'll bring it up on screen for you. So from ACNJ, alphabetically, we can see, there you go, he's going to win it anyway. You can see Bean's TV right there. He's going to win. All the way through to Zag. But if we go to, make sure Iceman's not with a 1. Yeah, so Lotus UK, put you, not in there. Not in there. It must have been before 3 p.m, Iceman. Unlucky! Beans is in. See, there we go. There we go. There we go. What we will do, though, is... Actually, do you know what? Let's change screens. Let's change screens. I'll take this off here. Badoosh. Let me go over to this screen. Nice. There we go. We're back. This one is my time. It's my time. Rip, says Tito. So we have 72 names in the draw for the loot drop for April 2023. Let me give it a shuffle. 1, 2, 3. Skadoosh. So we appreciate everyone for getting involved. Once again, these are all the people that support the channel by subscribing, either via themselves or via gifted subs, whatever it is. We appreciate you all for being in there because you help keep the content moving. You help us do cool stuff at Ice Cream Uploads. And the prize, a reminder, is 71. Don't forget to take mine out. Oh, are you in there as well, David? Okay, if David hits it, we'll take him out. It's fine. It's fine. Do you know what? I'll give a couple of extra shuffles because there you go. But if it lands on Fatman Dave, I'll pull him off. Nice.
This is bullshit. Rigged.
So yeah, everyone else, we appreciate you for supporting this. We can confirm that the winner will bag themselves WWE, nice, 2K23 for PlayStation, which is an EU copy because it is provided by 2K UK. So that is the prize up for grabs this month. A copy of WWE 2K23 by 2K UK. And the winner of the prize is do you know, this is absolute bullshit and rigged. Do you know why my face is like this? Is because Next Gen Renegade is our designer.
This is bullshit. Rigged.
It is bullshit rigged. Remove. Next Gen Renegade, we missed that one. Next Gen Renegade is the designer from Ice Cream Uploads. He's part of the team. He can't win it. So, let's go again. Okay, for the second time now, the winner of the loot drop for April 2023 is... Sam is the winner. There you go. Nice. So Sam Hoyers, is that how we pronounce it? I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's a Y. Sam, GG's. You are now the winner of 2K23 for the PlayStation. Nice. Everyone else, if you didn't manage to win it, there is always next month or every other month that you are a sub on the channel. As long as you are a sub at 3 p.m. on the first Monday of the month, you will be in the draw. This time, Sam has bagged himself a copy of WWE 2K23. Thanks to the beautiful people at 2K UK. We appreciate that very, very much. Unfortunately, Beans, despite having a monopoly on competition prizes, didn't win. Lotus didn't win this time either as well. So, yeah. Let's go. OP3 did a wild precision rocking. He did. Oof. Unsubbing and unfollowing. God damn, twice and you didn't win precision. And look at it. I'll just stick with Sam, safest bet. I was 3 places away. Oh, you are. Demos, Ace, precision. Close. BRB, I'm going out to pump my neighbour's cat. GG2K. You love to see it. You love to see it. Shout out to Sam and 2K. Everyone else, we appreciate everyone that does get involved with the loot drops every month, by the way. Everyone that subs, we appreciate it. It's nice. I never win anything. Cat, I think you've got to be up there with the most winning wrist of stuff on ICU out of everyone, apart from Beans, obviously. It's funny though because Beans just won stuff in a quick succession, so now everyone thinks he wins everything. But you've had your fair share. I would hazard a bet, a guess that you're up there as well. So nice. Anyway, everyone else, we appreciate it. I only win when I shouldn't. Yeah, Iceman. So does anyone remember where we used to do a thing where everyone that was a sub and in the Discord got a chance to enter, and it was the month where Twitch and Discord's API stopped working, and Iceman won it despite not being a sub because the Discord said he was because it hadn't spoken to Twitch. So he won it, and he shouldn't have done. And he told us that he shouldn't have done. So we gave the prize to someone else and then gave him a prize anyway because that's nice, right? That's nice, right? Nice. And then we've made sure he's never won anything ever since because, you know, fuck that guy. Love you, Iceman. I love you, everyone else as well, genuinely. I got a chair and a game out of this channel. We're basically married. Can't wait for baby Batman dance. Let's go, baby. Nice. Okay, please do feel free to stick around for a raid. I'm going to drop a raid on one of the friends. I'm not sure who we're going to go and see yet. But if you do want to get involved in the next episode of The Scoop,
Fucking hell, size of this moth.
Sorry, babe. Sorry, mate. And myself and that guy, Bib, will be in the studio tomorrow for the final episode of The Scoop of the week because it's Good Friday. But also the final scheduled piece of content for like a bajillion years. We are out of the office, both myself and Bib, for 10 days. So there will probably be content. Shout out to anyone taking part in Code Red, CCS3, just saying. But there will be no scheduled content. It's likely that I'll still be doing some chasing crates with mate stuff through that, but we'll see. We'll see. Week off with the Famalam, we might be going away. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, stick around. So yeah, if you do want to influence tomorrow's scoop, do feel free to share your news articles with us either on Twitter or in the Discord, ! Discord if you need the links to that. All we need from you guys is a link to the news that you want us to talk about, plus your thoughts and impressions, and we will give you our thoughts and impressions at 10 a.m.ish tomorrow. Nice. Take care, ladies and gents. I love you all, even Tito. I've won twice, once during a COD stream, but I don't have a console. And then the next Monday and swapped for a hat because we're related. Yes. Forgot you were in there, but we'll sort you right out. Okay, stick around. We appreciate you all very much. Have yourselves a beautiful day. I'll see you 10 a.m.ish tomorrow. Remember, there is no chasing crates tonight. I am at Old Trafford. So me, Lotus, and hopefully the Code Red boys will be back tomorrow. 6:30ish. Fuck's sake, says Lotus. I know. 6:30ish tomorrow, hopefully. Although I am driving back from the office, so it might be a bit later. But we'll bring you PUBG game nights tomorrow. Nice. Boring night for me now. Thanks. Have to speak to the kids. It's all right. You get to speak to me tomorrow. Nice. Trade off. Stay frosted.